What's up, awesome crew? Elly Awesome here, and today I'm teaching you how to build your own custom Game Boy Color. Here are two I just customized. This is my personal favorite with the teal front, the orange buttons, the orange screen, and the translucent orange back. Oh, baby, it's cool. We also have the translucent black and purple with the blue D-pad, the green buttons, and the Pokemon screen. Personally, I think these look super radical, but I can't really brag too much because it's not very hard to do this. The hardest part is finding the replacement Game Boy parts. Now, I have a kind of secret, kind of obsession with Game Boy colors, so over the past few years, I have actually been collecting different replacement Game Boy parts. And now I have a ton. I found all of my Game Boy parts online from all different corners of the internet. For the Game Boy colored screens, I was searching for months and weeks, and when I finally found someone who happened to be selling them, I snapped up heaps, and then they disappeared from the internet, and I don't know if you can even buy them anymore. So to start off, you'll need a Game Boy Color and a tri-wing screwdriver. The Game Boy housing is held together with special screws made so you can't take the Game Boy apart easily, but never fear, you can buy one online, on eBay or Amazon for just a few dollars. Then there are 6 screws you need to take out so you can remove the back of the housing. And once you do that, make sure to look after all the screws you remove so you can return them later. Once that's done and you've opened up the Game Boy, unscrew the 3 Phillips head screws holding the circuit board to the front housing. Now lift the circuit board out of the way, noticing it's still attached by a ribbon connecting to the screen, which is glued to the front housing. Then simply remove all the buttons from the Game Boy. Now we have to remove the screen from the housing, and it's stuck on really well, so you'll need to lever it off with some force, but be careful not to damage or break the screen. This whole mod is so easy to do. This is probably the hardest part, but just take your time. It will make horrible sounds like this, but you will be able to take off the screen. Now everything is free to be replaced with whatever parts you have, and you can lever off the old Game Boy Color screen on the outside if you wish to replace it. And now we get to try out different Game Boy housing color combinations. Let me know if you like one of these in the comments below, or what your dream Game Boy would look like. Now I'm going to put new buttons back into the Game Boy, which is really easy to do. Then I'm going to lay the screen back into the Game Boy housing and lay the circuit board back in place. Screw the 3 Phillips head screws back into the circuit board and housing, and just put the back on and place batteries in the Game Boy and test everything is still working. If it is, close up the Game Boy and put it all back together. And now you can stick on the new screen and admire your custom creation. Ooh, yeah. And here's a quick clip of the other Game Boy I customized. Look how rad it is! Now, a Game Boy mod that's a little bit more difficult to perform is the front lit screen mod, and I have done it on this Game Boy. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell on camera, but basically, you can play this in the dark. There you go. As you can see, the screen is glowing, and if you want to see how I did that and watch a Game Boy Color documentary I made, I will put a link to a Game Boy playlist down below. Here's a close-up, and since I modded this a few years ago, I've actually found there's an easier way to do it. I'm thinking of making an updated tutorial for how to do this because the new way is so much easier and quicker. Let me quickly go back to the regular Game Boy screen so you can see the difference. Here's the close-up of the regular Game Boy in comparison. Very dark. I'll be uploading videos every single day this August, so stay tuned if you love apps, tech, food, video games, and more. I'm Elly Awesome, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.